Well, just a little bit about being again at work, because I was thinking that, if you see how I sleep in my car, how I wash myself at work, and how I wash my clothes at work, and generally what do I do, then you ought to see a little bit what my work is about. Not too much, I don't want to bother you, it's very technical. So today it's Wednesday again, and I need to do something called a weekly sprinkler test. The sprinkler thing is literally just these pipes like those that are running all around the place, and then they are basically sprinkling water should there be a fire in the building. And this is one of the stations, one of the large central stations. There's a huge tank of water, like 22 cubic meters. Half of it is water, half of it is compressed air. Until here is water, above it is compressed air. The air pressure is pretty significant. It's about 10 bars, 9.5 bars. Sorry, I'm mixing German with English. And I will have to play around with these valve systems here. So you have a control panel also that you would have to log yourself in and set certain things. And then, we have a compressor. We have a giant pump, that's like a 110 horsepower pump. I mean, the motor itself, the electric motor is 110 horsepower, and then the pump itself. And I will have to test all of this, so this is going to be the better half of the entire day. Right now I'm going to start with the compressor check, which essentially entails that you leak the air on purpose, and by doing that you're also getting rid of the humidity that accumulates in the tank, because the air contains water. Water, how do they say in English? Water Dampf, also auf Deutsch ist Dampf, steam. So you have humidity in the air, and when you compress the air into this little tank, then the humidity, the steam, the water will actually collect in it, and it will cause corrosion, and then the tank goes kaboom. So you would have to prevent that, and for that we have a little bucket already full of frost. And we would have to let the water out, and in the same time we will let the pressure out, and we will check if the compressor turns on by itself. It has a pressure sensor, it should have, and when the pressure goes from around 9.5 bar at around 7, then it should turn itself on. So that's what we test for the first time. So yeah. You can see there is water bubbling out. And you can see how the pressure is decreasing. So now it's around 8 bars. So that's one of the jobs that I have to do here. And it runs. And that was it, And the pressure is back to over 9.5. Okie dokie there. Good. Next thing is to actually simulate an actual sprinkler event. Like that's a sprinkler down up there. So simulate as that vial, that red thing would be broken or melt, and then water would come out, and we'll simulate this on here. We'll let the water out on a bypass route, and then we'll see if the alarm actually goes on off. So turn the thing on, And if you look here up, there's a pressure switch. That is a pressure switch, and it should have to engage. So success. So the pressure switch did engage. So it's success. We have to let now the pressure out of this small tank. This is a retort chamber. And we let it out from here, like you press on this thing. And we can see that the pressure switch is going to turn off. And now that the pressure switch is off, we can reset the whole thing. Here we have the alarm, fire, and now we can reset it. Reset. And I must repeat this with all these valves. So another interesting procedure is to test this huge pump. So basically on the right hand side is a motor about 100 horsepower, and here is a centrifugal pump, and we would have to test it. And the way it's supposed to work is that you have obviously the pipe network with the sprinklers. Like there's a sprinkler right there, and then where else? There's a sprinkler right here also. It's throughout the building. And when the pressure drops from 9.5 bars to about 7.4, 7.3 bars, then it would automatically switch itself on. And the way we test it, we have the pump itself has its own pressure switch, which is there, both of them for redundancy, Sprinklerpumpe, in German. And we are going to simply cut off the pressure switch from the rest of the network, so it will have no pressure on it, and then it would have to turn on. But before we do that, because we don't want this huge pump to pump water in the network, because it's just a test, it's not a real thing, we will have to shut off that huge valve first. So that's the first thing that you do. You shut this valve off. Good. So water comes from there. Behind the wall there's a huge pool of water. Comes in right here. Because it's a centrifugal pump, it means that the inlet is in the middle, the outlet is on the side. It comes up. There it cannot go because I made it up. And then it goes here sideways and essentially returns to the pool. So we'll just spin the water round and round without actually doing anything, because it's just a test. So, and now I'm gonna cut off the pressure switch, one of them, anyway, it doesn't matter which one. I'm gonna cut them off with the help of this little valve from the rest of the network. So the pressure switch will be cut off from the network. That means it will not experience pressure. So the pressure that it experiences now is going to drop. And I'm going to read the value at which the pump turns on. Let's see how this goes very slowly. And you can see how the pressure starts dropping. So 9.5 bars, 9 bars of pressure, 8.5, 8, 7.5, 7. That was all. It does works and it develops 11.5 bars, which it's supposed to do. And it sucks out from the electricity network 80 amps. So pretty huge.